Happy St. Patrick's Day!
Don't be stealing me pot of gold.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
You can really taste the green. You're probably wondering why all the big fuss about St. Patrick's Day.
Usually people who don't drink don't celebrate St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day was our big holiday. The night before we'd hang up our stockings. In the morning they'd be full of beer.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to NSS. This is the Reynolds Report. Matt Damon is moving his family to Australia, in part because he's fed up with Donald Trump. Damon reportedly has purchased a property in Byron Bay, New South Wales, right next door to actor Chris Hemsworth. Sources are saying that Matt is telling friends and colleagues in Hollywood that he's moving the family to Australia because he disagrees with Trump's policies. First of all, no one cares. Secondly, why does Matt Damon think anybody cares? Whatever. Last night on Jimmy Kimmel Live, actor Zach Braff told a funny story about having dinner with the legendary Al Pacino.
My friend invited me to go to dinner with Al Pacino.
That's fantastic.
So, I mean, Al Pacino is a god to me, and I was so excited, and I put on this musk that you like. I laid out this whole outfit. I mean, I'm not kidding. I took it very seriously, because I pictured us in the corner, candlelit dinner, my friend Ariel and Al Pacino. I get there, and it's like a 12-person dinner at a hotel, and Al's at the far end.
Oh.
And I'm sitting pouting at my side of the table.
Oh, no.
No offense to the people that were with me, they were fine, but they weren't Al Pacino.
Right.
So, but I'm just like staring at him. And finally, at one moment, almost everyone got up to go smoke. So whether cigars or cigarettes, they all get up to leave. And I realized I'm the only person left with Al Pacino. So I go, this is my moment. Come on, Zach, you have to have courage. You gotta do this.
Yeah.
I get up and I went over there. I sat down across from him, and he was so sweet. He asked me about my work, and I, of course, asked him about being Al Pacino. And then at a certain point, he looks around and he reaches in his pocket and he pulls out a tiny action figure of Albert Einstein. And he goes, "Do you see this?" He goes, I carry this in my pocket every single day. A friend gave it to me and it's in my pocket every single day. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And he goes, "Say hello to my little friend."
That's pretty great.
Then people start coming back. He put it in his pocket like it never happened.
You never did get a chance to say hello to the little friend.
I never got to talk. I never got to ask so many questions.
That is a beautiful gift he gave you.
He did.
It seems that there's a bar in Boston, and it's two guys, one down at either end of the bar, and one gets up and walks down the other end of the bar and sits down next to the guy and says, "Hey, where are you from?" He said, "I'm from Ireland." He says, "Really?" He says, I'm from Ireland, too." He says, "Well, let me buy you a drink." He says, "Let me buy you a drink." They're buying each other drinks back and forth. The guy says, "Where are you from in Ireland?" He said, I'm from Dublin." He says, "I'm from Dublin." What? But buying each other drinks. "Where'd you go to high school?" He said, "I went to St. Mary's." "You couldn't have gone to St. Mary's." "I went to St. Mary's." We're back and forth buying each other drinks. The guy walks in, sees all the commotion down at the other end of the bar and says, "Hey," the bartender, "what's going on down there?" And the bartender said, "It's just the OReilly Twins getting drunk again." So
President Trump has been telling people that he fired Secretary of State Rex Tillerson all by himself. You know, Trump brags about firing people the same way a toddler brags about using the bathroom alone for the first time. The estate of the late novelist Harper Lee, who wrote To Kill a Mockingbird, is suing a Broadway producer for not sticking to the book in his portrayal of Atticus Finch. For example, in the book, Atticus doesn't shoot spider webbing from his wrist. Sunday, Russians will go to the polls and vote for Vladimir Putin, or risk mysteriously dying somewhere in England by poison. New study says that 90% of bottled water contains tiny pieces of plastic. The good news is that when we die, we'll save our families money. They won't have to pay for a burial. They can just drop us off in the nearest recycle bin. The FDA plans to reduce the amount of nicotine that can be used in a cigarette. The world is a pretty dangerous place already, and yet they plan to make people even more cranky. For their 23rd wedding anniversary, a Florida husband gave his wife a kidney. Geez, I wonder where he got that from. A cat owner has chosen to pay $19,000 for her 17-year-old cat to have surgery. Cripes, this cat has better health insurance than I do. GM plans to launch Airbnb for your car. I can't think of a better way to get rid of that new car smell. time for Nobody Gives a Vanessa Trump has filed for divorce from Donald Trump Jr. When reached for comment, she says he'll still be able to visit his money every other weekend. Hey, most despised family in America. Nobody gives a A Norwegian won this year's Iditarod sled dog race. First, the Norwegians win all the medals at the Olympics, and now the Iditarod. I wonder if those dudes have a team in the NCAA tournament. Hey, Norway, nobody gives a And Toys R Us is putting over 30,000 people out of work. That's almost as many people who've been fired from the White House. Hey, Jeffrey the Giraffe, nobody gives a Thanks, everybody. We have a new episode of the Reynolds Report for you every weekday. Be sure to check out NSS Live, starring Frank D'Angelo, Tuesdays and Thursdays, right here on NSS.